and 100 like it. It starts with a 16-year-old girl at a party with a bunch of other high school students. She's had a lot to drink, and she's not feeling so good. A couple of guys, popular ones, stars of the town's beloved football team, decide to leave the party and bring her along to another one. There she vomits, and other people notice how disoriented she seems. This will be the only part she remembers later. The guys take her with them to someone else's house, and in the car on the way, somebody removes her shirt, and one guy puts his fingers inside her vagina, while others take pictures and videos. They take her to the basement of the third house and strip her naked. One of the football stars puts his penis in her mouth. She's passed out at this point. Another star decides to penetrate her vagina with his fingers. People take more video and more pictures, including one of the two football stars, Trent Mays and Malik Richmond, holding the girl just off the floor by her hands and feet, her limp, unconscious body swinging between them. Her face will be blurred out when this photo makes her national news, but everyone she knows will recognize her. The town is Steubenville, Ohio, and the girl, like so many others before and since, will henceforth be known as Jane Doe. In a dorm room at Ohio State University on the same night, a young man named Michael Nadianos watches a 12-minute video of Jane Doe being assaulted and narrates what's happening on screen to yet another camera. According to his play-by-play, he believes the video shows her being anally raped. He's putting a wang in the butthole, dude, and urinated on. They peed on her, and that she's unconscious through all of it. That's how you know she's dead, because someone pissed on her. None of those charges specifically will be proven in court, although Mays and Richmond will eventually be convicted of rape. It's for the digital penetration seen on the only video that wasn't destroyed. But the salient point is, that's what Nadianos apparently believes he's watching, the gang rape and dehumanization of an unconscious 16-year-old. And on and off throughout the entire 12 minutes he's laughing. "She's so dead" becomes his refrain throughout the first several minutes. The one-liners he cracks about her unresponsiveness seem to titillate the guy holding the camera. So Nadianos just keeps piling them on, all the way up to "she's deader than O.J.'s wife," and "she's deader than Trayvon Martin." And she is so raped right now. They raped her harder than that cop raped Marcellus Wallace in Pulp Fiction. They raped her quicker than Mike Tyson raped that one girl. They raped her more than the Duke lacrosse team. About halfway through, some of the other men in the room also start using the R word, but not in quite the same way. This part goes on to have a conversation where a few actually start chiming in and going, "What if that was your daughter? This is not funny. I wouldn't care. I'd just let her be dead. Listen to yourself. I'm listening to myself fine. Dude, this is not cool. They're raping that girl. They're not raping her because she's dead. Y'all don't understand how it is, all right? I got a fucking little sister. What happens if that was my little sister who just turned like 16? Right?" Sounding for 1 second genuinely chagrined, "You're right. What if it was Amanda? It wouldn't be, though, because she's not dead. Neither is that girl. What if it were your daughter? What if it were your sister?" Obviously, those questions are enough to make some young men think twice, but Nadianos doesn't appear bothered. Even when someone presumably close to him is named, he reverts to his position that the girl is being raped on camera is dead, and therefore not like any of those real, living, breathing people he's supposed to care about. "Is it really rape?" Nadianos asked at one point, "because you don't know if she wanted it or not. She might have wanted it." Even though penetrating an unconscious person, that is, someone physically incapable of offering consent, meets the legal definition of rape in every state, for reasons that should be blindingly obvious, this is an incredibly common argument. What if the victim somehow made it clear that she really wanted to have sex with the perpetrator before she fell asleep or passed out? What if the men using her unconscious body were under the impression that she had volunteered to be their lifeless F-toy? Nadianos cracks himself up as another riff on the dead girl theme comes to mind. It might have been her final wish. I didn't watch the Nadianos video for months after it was first leaked to the internet by hacktivists called NightSec, a better known group, because I didn't have the stomach for listening to this kid laugh and laugh about a dead girl getting raped. Reading about the highlights seemed like more than enough to get the gist. But the tiny part of me that believes in progress, believes the future could bring liberty and justice for all, if it doesn't become a scorching dystopian hellscape where people are kept on breeding farms, was actually heartened by watching the video. Because even if Nadianos' laughter and rotten jokes dominate, at least those other guys are there saying, you know that's not cool, bro. If more men spoke up before, during, or after incidents of verbal, physical, or sexual abuse, and really anybody can speak up at any time, it doesn't just have to be males, or sexual abuse by their peers, they would help create a climate where the abuse of a person, I'm adjusting some words in here, emotional, physical, sexual, would be stigmatized and seen as incompatible with male group norms, writes Jackson Katz in The Macho Paradox. That is, a man who engaged in such behavior would lose status among his male peers. On the video, Nadianos seems to expect that his unspeakably crass and cruel comments will raise his status among all the other young men in the room. And at first it seems to be working. But as those 12 minutes wear on and his peers begin speaking up, we see the dynamic shift a bit. Michael Nadianos is not quite the successful comedian he believes he is, and parts of his audience are increasingly vocal about their revulsion. One voice gingerly suggesting he knock it off becomes two voices, explaining to the whole room and anyone who watches the video why jokes about the actual rape of a dead girl are beyond effed up. That's promising. Still, despite those dissenting voices, the Nadianos video demonstrates just how far we have to go. Because someone saying in so many words, bro, he raped a girl, really raped someone, isn't enough to make the star or the cameraman stop laughing. It's clear that Nadianos, emboldened by the camera and sycophantic encouragement of the guy holding it, feels no threat to his status when his peers try to reason with him. He's the focus of attention, the guy making everybody, or at least himself and one other kid, laugh. The bystanders who try to intervene are just a couple of losers trying to ruin his fun. We need to change our culture so that young men who toss around casual pro-rape sentiments are the ones regarded as buzzkills, wrecking everyone else's good time with their hateful crap. This, once again, is a big part of what I mean when I talk about teaching boys not to rape. It's not a matter of dad sitting down with his pre-adolescent son and incorporating don't be a criminal into the birds and bees talk. I mean, that couldn't hurt, probably, but it's not the point. It's about teaching our boys to actively oppose sexual violence. It's all well and good to say you're against rape and would never rape anyone, end of story, but somewhere in the crowd of guys laughing about an unconscious girl getting a wang in the butthole, dude, and the one listening to Daniel Tosh say, wouldn't it be funny if she got gang raped now? And the one reading an op-ed in the Washington Post that puts sexual assault in quotation marks, as though it exists only in the eye of the beholder, somewhere in all of those crowds is the guy who would rape someone, the guy who will rape someone, the guy who has raped someone. And could you blame any of those guys for thinking that rape is not a serious crime, or even something to be particularly ashamed of when so many good guys around them are laughing at the same jokes? What I ask or want people to do is to think about what I just read, and to think about the fact that you could assign any gender there. That could have been a male being raped by females. And in fact, rape culture is actually fostered, approved of, and women have a larger rape culture than males do. I mean, I know we like to blame it on penises, but I'm sorry, you just can't. It's not just males. So please shove the stereotypes about it being males. Girls encourage this stuff. You just need to get laid is a common theme. Just think about it.